This is homework number 5 for Mr. Reed Year 7 Maths group. If we have a look at question 1, remember the deadline is Friday as usual and you need to come and ask me if you're stuck. Okay, so question 1. Now we've been doing the area of a trapezium for a few weeks on our homework now and practicing it each week. This question is slightly different. You do have to work out the area of each of these shapes, but if you notice in the question it says put them in order, so you have to actually say which has got the smallest area, then the next smallest and so on. So put them in order from smallest to biggest in terms of their area. You do need to show you're working out. That is one thing that a lot of the class are dropping marks on at the moment. You can't just write answers down, you must show your method in your book or on your piece of paper if you're doing it on paper. Right, question 2. Column method, again, show full working out. Written column method for each of these calculations. I would say that as discussed in the classroom, it's much better to turn this question here into 47 multiplied by 83. I'd probably turn that one into 52 divided by 13. You do have to think about how that changes the answer, certainly on this one here. And this is more of a slightly different focus on division here, where you have to think about maybe how many 0.01s there are in a whole one, and therefore how many there would be in 16 whole ones. Moving along to question 3. We've talked a lot about this type of rounding now. It's used during estimation, so round each of these numbers to one significant figure. And then on question 4, I want you to look at these same numbers again, but this time round them to one decimal place. So you'll get different answers. And that should help you contrast the two types of rounding that you might see. Moving on to question 5. Now this is that problem solving aspect that we try and look at in the classroom but also on homeworks, and you'll see this logo on worksheets and on homeworks and things from now on, trying to make sure it's really clear when we're solving problems like this. It's similar to last week. We had a question about grass seed. This week it's about turf, which is a different way of putting grass onto your lawn. And you'll notice the green area here. This is a lawn section of a rectangular garden. This, you would not put lawn on the flower bed. And you've got to work out how much money you would spend on turf. There's a bit of information given. Of course you can work out the area of the garden, etc. But turf is £9 for a 12-metre roll. You buy it in rolls, and also you can't buy part of a roll. So please don't write a decimal down in terms of the number of rolls required. You need to round it up and think about the fact you can't buy a partial roll. On to the next question. This is the topic we did in class last week. It's about estimating a typical thing from the real world. Now, I'd rather you didn't look on the internet and tell me the exact answers that you've found, so just have a think about it. Probably working in metres there, the height of a typical giraffe, just guess if you're not sure. It's more important that you think metres would be a sensible choice of unit there, for example. Same again when you think about a typical car. I know different cars have different weights, but think about just a typical car you might be in. And what unit of weight you would use for that one. For example, grams wouldn't be very sensible for a car. This one here, maybe how long it would take an athlete, not someone that's unfit, but an actual athlete to run 400 metres, and so on. So there's a few questions there about picking not only a sensible unit, but having a bit of a guess at how much the actual answer is as well. If you did want to look up on the internet the actual answer and compare the two, that would be a good extra little challenge. Right, so that's it. Remember that homework's due in on Friday. If you just go back a question, I did want to make a point that you must show you're working out. I've said it already on this homework, but actually last week's question about gardens was quite badly answered by some students when they just wrote down yes or no, very little, if any, working out. This question needs, lots and lots of working out to show the area of this, a calculation once you decide how many rolls you need to times that by 9 and so on. There's lots to do, so please don't just write a simple number down as your answer. Right, that's it, and as I said, please ask for help if you need it.